Get used to it. We as people get used to things. That can be good or bad. We're able to adapt to different environments and challenges, but we also have a knack for getting used to our own destructive behaviors. The very thing that has allowed humans to become Earth's most dominant species has also perpetuated our tendency to hurt ourselves. We live with detrimental conditions and behaviors because we're used to them. We do it individually and societally. In our individual lives, we might have detrimental health practices. We eat junk food, we remain sedentary, we don't get enough sleep. We get accustomed to being a certain way, and we don't know how much better we can feel. We do the same with our mental health. We get used to feeling angry, sad, lonely, or depressed. We don't remember having a sense of peace, so we write it off. We do it with our broken relationships and our unfulfilling lives. We think our current state is all life has to offer, so we simply try to grin and bear it. The encouraging thing about our ability to get used to almost any state of existence is in knowing we can get accustomed to a new way of life. We see it all the time, even if we don't see it in ourselves. We've seen the former junk food aficionado transform into the friend we ask about running shoes. We know people who have gone from stressed and angry to calm and happy. We've seen addicts get clean. We've seen people start with next to nothing and build empires. We've seen the human ability to get used to a new reality. We just have to use that to our advantage. We have to put some faith in our own adaptability. The first workout is painful, but if we keep exercising, we get stronger. Soon we form a habit. Doing a workout becomes easier than skipping one. Meditation might seem weird at first, but eventually we realize we're happier because of it. It's difficult to give up sugar, but we get used to a healthy diet, and processed food isn't even appealing anymore. We get used to a lot of negative behaviors, and that can make change difficult. We get in ruts and stick to the status quo. We dig ourselves into holes over time. We just have to remember it's the same process to dig ourselves out. We have to start doing little things over and over again, keeping faith that new habits will form. I've been on both sides of it. Over the last year or two, I've had different people tell me how much happier I seem. That's sort of a weird thing to hear. I appreciate what I take as a compliment, but I didn't even realize I wasn't happy before. I think, like many people, I have a knack for telling myself things are fine. Then I reflect honestly, and I see some of the differences other people noticed before I did. I've talked about it before, but I implemented some new practices during a period of my life that included several health problems, a divorce, and a lot of change. I was kind of just treading water, trying strategies and processes with some faint hope that one day things might improve. Eventually, those practices paid off. I got better in a lot of ways. It's strange when I do look back. I used to avoid travel. Now, with the exception of the current pandemic, my 2 kids and I are road tripping and flying and trying to experience as much as we can. I used to be the guy having another drink while making midnight nachos. Now it's more likely I'm the guy doing yoga and sipping kombucha. I used to lose my temper a lot, more than I thought I did, but I'm not even sure of the last time I felt really angry anymore. My good friend Jason recently said I made the transition from Ron to Ron over the last few years. That's a reference to Parks and Recreation, our all-time favorite sitcom. For those unfamiliar, Jason was talking about my apparent shift from Ron Swanson, played by Nick Offerman, to Ron Dunn, played by Sam Elliott. Basically, the former Ron can be growly. He likes to be left alone. He is often emotionally closed off, and he'd be more apt to eat a mountain of bacon than go for a jog. The latter Ron is more of a free-spirited hippie type, quick to dole out a hug. I may not be exactly either character, but it's a fair comparison. My transition isn't going to be right for everyone else, and I'm still trying to grow. I've just seen my own ability to get used to things for worse and better. It's not about changing who we are either. It's about uncovering our core beliefs and finding a truer expression of ourselves. It's the same with society. We get used to pollution, negative politics and broken systems, disenfranchised groups and inequality. Sometimes we don't even see those things because it's just the way it's always been. Societal change is certainly broader and more complex than individual change, but it's the same process, and we can start at home. For things to change in our individual lives and in the larger world, we must first recognize we've gotten used to some things that get in the way of what is really right and good for us and for others. Once we accept that, we can use our adaptability to make change. It will take time and effort, but we can take steps forward, confident in knowing we can get used to a new and better reality. Thank you, and much love.